Have you ever, really stopped to think about a single breath? It feels so simple, right? So automatic. But wow, behind that one little inhale and exhale is this incredible biological story. So today, we're going to follow that story. And I promise by the end of this, you'll never think about breathing the same way again.
Just think about that number for a second. Over 20,000 times a day. Your body is just performing this complex dance of physics and chemistry on loop. So, what's actually happening in there? What's the hidden engine that's powering every single one of those breaths? Well, let's dive in and find out.
All right, so first up, we're going to trace the entire path of a breath, from the air all around us deep into our lungs. And to really get a handle on this, we've got to start with one key definition.
At its very core, this is what it's all about. See, respiration isn't just about breathing in and out. It's like a vital delivery service. It's the whole process of getting the good stuff, oxygen, in to fuel your cells, and getting the waste product, carbon dioxide, out. And just how often is this delivery service running? Well, for most adults, just chilling out, it's a really steady, gentle pace, about 12 to 15 times every single minute. It's this constant, life-sustaining rhythm that, honestly, we barely ever notice. So let's start with the first half of the journey, breathing in, what we call inspiration. And here's the crucial thing to get. This is not a passive process. Not at all. Your body has to actively work to make this happen.
So here's how that work gets done, in 4 simple steps. First, your diaphragm, that huge muscle right under your lungs, it contracts and flattens out. That makes your chest cavity bigger. Now, if you remember your high school physics, bigger volume means lower pressure. And since nature can't stand a pressure difference, air from the outside just rushes in to even things out. And that rush of air, that is your inhale. So simple, but so powerful.
So if you remember one thing, remember this. Every single breath you take in, doesn't matter if you're sleeping or running a marathon, it requires your muscles to do a job. It's real physical work that your body is constantly performing.
But hold on, there's more to the story. To see what happens next, we need to zoom in, like way down to the microscopic level. See, deep inside your lungs, there are millions of these tiny, delicate air sacs, and they hold a secret ingredient that makes this entire thing possible. Just think about this for a second. You have something like 300 million of these tiny, wet balloons in your lungs called alveoli. Now, the natural surface tension of all that moisture, it should make them collapse and stick together every single time you breathe out. So why don't they? The answer is this absolute wonder substance called surfactant. It's like a special coating on the inside of these air sacs that acts kind of like soap, breaking up that surface tension and keeping the alveoli propped open, all ready for the next breath. It's amazing. And if we look at the recipe for this stuff, it's just fascinating. It's this whole chemical mixture, mostly made of different kinds of fats or lipids. You can see the real star of the show is this one super complex phospholipid. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. And it makes up over 60% of the whole mixture. It is the key active ingredient. And its job is absolutely critical. Look at this list. It literally prevents your lungs from collapsing on themselves. It's crucial for a newborn, helping their tiny lungs expand for that very first breath. It even helps keep them dry by stopping fluid from building up. It is a true multitasking marvel. Okay, so we've covered the hard work of breathing in. So what about breathing out? Well, this is where our story takes a much more relaxed turn. The difference here is like night and day. As we've seen, inspiration is an active job, right? Muscles contracting, energy being used. But a quiet exhale, it's the complete opposite. It's totally passive. The muscles just relax. And the natural elasticity of your lungs does all the work. It's so relaxed it even takes a little bit longer, about 3 seconds compared to the 2 seconds it takes to breathe in. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a balloon. You have to actively blow air into it to stretch it out, right? That takes effort. But to let the air out, you just let go, and it deflates all on its own. That's your lungs during a quiet exhale. They just recoil back to their resting size. No effort needed. So all that work of breathing we were talking about earlier, it turns out it's all about the work of inspiration. Just look at where the energy goes. A massive 65% is just for stretching the lungs open, what scientists call compliance work. The rest is spent just overcoming resistance in your airways and the lung tissue. The exhale, by comparison, it's free. It costs you nothing. Okay, so now that we understand the how, let's talk about the how much. because the volumes of air we actually move are pretty fascinating when you look at them. Go ahead, just take a normal relaxed breath right now. The amount of air you just moved in and out is probably smaller than you think. It's only about 500 milliliters. That's just half a liter. We're talking about the size of a small water bottle.
And in physiology, this has a name. It's called your tidal volume. It's like this gentle, rhythmic tide of air that keeps you going moment to moment.
But this is what's so amazing. Look at that tiny little tidal volume compared to your reserves. On top of that normal breath, you can forcibly pull in an extra 3,000 milliliters. That's your inspiratory reserve. And you can forcefully push out an extra 1,100. Your lungs have this incredible, massive capacity that's just waiting there, far beyond what you use with each normal breath.
Okay, so finally, it's really easy to think of the respiratory system as just a pair of bellows for moving air. But it is so much more than that. It has a surprising number of other really critical jobs.
I mean, every single word I'm saying to you right now is powered by this system. It's also your body's first line of defense, using coughs and sneezes to violently expel intruders. It helps regulate your body's pH balance, which is crucial. It acts as a heater and a humidifier for the air coming in, and it even helps pump blood back to your heart. It's a true jack of all trades.
And this quote from our source material really just sums it all up perfectly. The respiratory system is, fundamentally, a servant to the entire body. It's just tirelessly working in the background to provide the fuel and remove the waste that every other part of you needs to function.
When you really step back and think about it, it's just mind-blowing. We've just walked through a system so complex and so elegant that it does its job over 20,000 times a day, almost entirely on autopilot. It really makes you wonder, what other incredible miracles of biology are quietly at work inside of you right this very second?